Okay, so Patrick, let me ask you a few questions about organ donation. My first question is, are you an organ donor?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions about why you are not an organ donor, and then hopefully by the end of this you'll be more educated about organ donation. So, because you're not an organ donor, there must be some reasons. So, is one of the reasons because you're afraid of your age?
Possibly.
Well, do you think you'll be too young, too old, to be an organ donor?
Well, yeah, maybe my organs aren't good enough.
Well, did you know that there are people on the list for organ donation of all ages? So there might be a person on the list that is 17 who needs an organ, and you probably be the perfect match. Alright, now, did you know that?
No.
Okay, so now we're getting more educated. My next question is, do you think you're not rich enough? Do you think that if you're an organ donor, then you'd have to pay to be an organ donor?
No, I don't.
You don't think that?
No.
Well, that's good, because Gift of Life and the organ donation is all a non-profit organization. So they're not going to ask you for money at any time. They only take donations. My next question. Are you afraid that if you're an organ donor, the people at the paramedics and the doctors won't try to save your life?
That could be a possibility.
Well, did you know that in fact, did you know that paramedics and doctors don't even care if you're an organ donor until after you have passed away? They won't even check your driver's license to see if you're an organ donor. They'll only check your driver's license for identification purposes. Did you know that? Well, that's a step in the right direction. Alright, well, my next question would be, do you think that your family would be affected, asked for money or asked for any sort of thing because you're an organ donor?
Possibly.
Well, no. See, they don't think anything about your family. Families might feel because you're an organ donor, they might have to contribute, and the reality is you don't. If you're an organ donor, that stays between you and the organ donation committee. Alright, so, after this interview, you've learned some stuff. What's some of the stuff you've learned?
That my family won't be affected till after I'm dead. Or will not be affected, and I won't be asked to be if I'm an organ donor till after I'm dead. And I can help another 17-year-old kid. Okay,
well, after this interview, do you feel that you will become an organ donor?
Yeah, if it could save another person. Yeah.
Well, let me backtrack. Is there any other questions you have about organ donation? Any doubts? Anything that you believe about organ donation that might put you in the opposite direction, or actually in the right direction? Is there anything else you believe? Any myths? So you basically know the concept of organ donation. So after this interview, do you feel like you could be an organ donor?
Yeah.
Alright, that means I've done my part. Thank you, Patrick.